Beautiful sunshine over the capital city right now as Labor Day is just around the corner, but our first alert weather team is still keeping an eye on the tropics as Hurricane Irma is upgraded to a Category 3, winds at 115 miles per hour, but will it intensify again? Von Gaskin will have the latest in your forecast. Nuclear test conducted in North Korea, but was it successful or not? The answer to that question this morning.
Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Good Sunday morning. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Leland Pender. Making top headlines this morning, North Korea has successfully tested a hydrogen bomb not long after a strong earthquake was detected near a main nuclear site. That last nuclear test only triggered a 5.3 magnitude. The photos you see here are of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un inspecting what is believed to be the device. The hydrogen bomb is claimed that it can be loaded onto an intercontinental ballistic missile. This is now North Korea's 6th nuclear test. Well, President Trump responding to this on Twitter just this morning, he said that South Korea is finding, as I have told them, that their talk of appeasement with North Korea will not work. They only understand one thing. He called North Korea a rogue nation and said their words and actions continue to be very hostile and dangerous to the United States. Well, many people are still dealing with a blazing fire in California. 3 homes have now been lost to what's being called the biggest fire in the history of the city of Los Angeles. At least 5,000 acres are burning right now, although the LA Fire Department says it's confident that fire is bigger. Now, this fire has been burning since Friday afternoon. Hundreds of homes have been evacuated along an 11-mile stretch of the freeway.
It's scary, man. I mean, with the freeway being so quiet with no cars, you can just hear that crackling, and it makes you know that it's right in your backyard.
Erratic winds have made the situation even more difficult to fight, especially combined with low humidity and those high temperatures, high heat out there. Currently, it's only 10% contained. Thankfully, though, no injuries have been reported. 3 people are dead this morning after a house fire claimed their lives. It was a mom and her 2 children. It started just around midnight. Officials at the scene say they saw flames coming from this home in Berks County, Pennsylvania. The blaze, about 60 miles northwest of Philadelphia, took about 2 hours to extinguish. Officials at the scene could not confirm a report that a 4th person jumped from a 2nd-floor window. This investigation is ongoing. Looking over downtown Columbia right now, conditions are kind of ideal, and that's what we like to hear and see as we get ready for this Labor Day weekend. Labor Day's tomorrow. Von Gaskin has your forecast.
And just in case folks are getting a little confused, fall will not officially arrive here until September 22nd. Now, that's for folks who thought, hey, it feels like fall already. Well, just lower humidity values. Still plenty of summer left out there for us. Temperatures in the 70s this morning. 75 for you, Camden, 73 in Bishopville. Good morning to all of you. It's also 75 down in Manning with 77 in Aiken and 72 in Saluda. For today, this is about where we were yesterday. We did notice the temperatures starting to come down, but now that we're starting to take some of that moisture out of the air, we'll certainly start to feel a bit more comfortable outside for us. Later today, we're going to take the high temperature up to 90. The average for today is about 89, so that's pretty good for us. Mostly sunny skies with west-northwesterly winds expected. And looking ahead to your Labor Day forecast as we start out the evening, it should be pleasant for you if you have outdoor plans. We're expecting the 80s and no rain in the forecast, and 92 for your Monday afternoon high temperature. So for Labor Day, it should be great for those outdoor events and activities. And if you want to stay out in the yard until the evening, you should be fine. It looks like we'll have temperatures dropping down to the low 80s. I'll have the latest on your forecast heading after Labor Day, and I'll have the latest on the tropics coming up, Leland.
All right, thanks, Vaughn. President Trump visiting with first responders and people impacted by Hurricane Harvey. He made a 2nd trip to Texas this week and his 1st trip to Louisiana. Shortly after he left, Houston city officials spoke to the public and announced that water is still pushing people out of their homes. Kristen Holmes has the details.
I have no choice but to issue a mandatory evacuation.
Houston's mayor tells some West Houston residents with water in their homes they must leave. The order applies only to an area flooded by water released from swollen reservoirs. Authorities say it's a matter of public safety.
It's my professional opinion that people that remain in inundated areas are in an unsafe situation. The hazards that exist in these situations are presenting a problem for first responders.
Meanwhile, water service is beginning to be restored in Beaumont. 6 temporary pumps have been installed. Residents who haven't evacuated have been relying on bottled water since flooding knocked the treatment plant offline Thursday. This as the President and First Lady visited Texas and Louisiana Saturday. In Houston, they stopped at a church and a relief center at NRG Stadium.
I think people appreciate what's been done. It's been done very efficiently, very well, and that's what we want. We're very happy with the way everything's going. A lot of love.
President Trump handed out meals, supplies,
Hey, can you handle this?
and hugs. Then it was on to visit Louisiana, where he met with members of the National Guard and the Cajun Navy, a group of volunteers helping with water rescues. Harvey could be one of the most expensive disasters in U.S. history. The White House has asked for nearly $8 billion in disaster relief. The House is scheduled to vote on funding next week. In Houston, Texas, I'm Kristen Holmes.
Well, many people there are picking up the pieces after Harvey right now. One New Hampshire university is shedding some light on a terrible natural disaster by offering free tuition to students affected by the hurricane. The university says it will pick up the tab for their tuition, room and board, and fees. It normally costs about $24,000 for a student to attend school at that university. Isn't the first time the university took in students affected by a natural disaster. Following Hurricane Katrina in 2005, 14 Louisiana students went north under a similar arrangement. The President and First Lady were back in Texas just yesterday visiting with victims who are still living in shelters 1 week after Hurricane Harvey devastated that area. The couple helped to serve lunch and visited with kids in the shelter. While there, the President said he saw a lot of love, even in a time of tragedy. The American Red Cross says more than 17,000 people have sought refuge in shelters since Harvey hit last week. Well, back here at home, the Columbia Fire Department is sponsoring a Harvey relief effort in support of first responders in Houston. The department will be hosting a donation drive starting Tuesday through Saturday in Walmart parking lots around the Midlands. Tuesday's drive will be at the Walmart on Forest Drive, and you're encouraged to take things like toiletries, blankets, and school supplies. Well, if you're planning to drink this holiday weekend, you know the drill. Don't get behind the wheel and drive. After the break, why sober or slammer hits home for a Kershaw County family. And we'll have your full forecast to help get you ready for the Labor Day holiday coming up in just 2 minutes.